right, man. So we got the first official trailer for Supergirl here. Absolutely. It's a teaser. I'm going to react to it, and then I'm going to go ahead and talk about it, break it down frame by frame, and really check out what we're getting here from this movie, from the DCU, and of course, its ever-expanding universe, right? So let's get to the trailer. If you've seen the trailer already, let me hear your guys' thoughts down below. But let's get to this reaction, and then I'm going to talk about it afterwards. Hi, Crypto. I wonder how big of a part he plays in this. Oh. Get peed on, Superman. Get peed on.
You managed to get most of it on the paper this time. Good job, buddy.
She's just carefree, man. She does not care.
Hi, cars are out. You're right there.
He's just like...
23 will be the best year yet.
Man, I just keep bobbing my head to this music, man. This is a great song choice.
Very high bar to clear.
She's drinking something fierce.
I didn't know any of you were still alive. What was it like to lose everything?
Is that Krypton? Oh man, look at that.
Krypton didn't die in a day. The gods are not that kind.
Uh-oh.
Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well. For you guys.
Yep. I love it. Loving it. Who's that big guy?
Do you have this on your planet of house like you?
Very much Guardians of the Galaxy like vibe I'm getting. Which, hey, I'm down. I'm down for that. Lobo.
He sees the good in everyone. And I see the truth.
All right, man. First official trailer done for. Written by Anna Naguaria and directed by Craig Gillespie. I'm down for that, guys. What do you guys think of that trailer there? Pretty sweet. So, first initial thoughts to this trailer here. I like it. It's kind of what I thought it was going to be. It's really, all honestly, what I thought it was going to be. When I saw the little trailer teasers, the little teaser that they gave us over the last week or so, right, where it showed the part with the ship coming down, she's sitting there. And then, of course, we got a new poster, and then, of course, everything that happened at the CXP and down in Brazil, the Comic-Con down there, and then from the stuff I saw online, it's basically what I thought it was going to be, which is it's putting off very much Guardians of the Galaxy vibe. And I love it, man, because think about it. This is a space adventure. That's what this is going to be. This doesn't take place on Earth. It's not going to be on Earth. It's simply going to be in space, and it's going to be about Kara Zor-El and, of course, her, her day by day, I guess you could say, kind of where she's at currently in her life. So, and I saw some mixed things online. We're saying, she's basically just like a female Star-Lord. Okay, what's wrong with that? I think that most comic book fans, or people that are fans of comic book movies, one of the things that I think that they just completely forgot is that Marvel's space, how do you say, the whole space world, everything that has to do with space and this and that, this was all given to us from Marvel by James Gunn. I think that people need to wrap their head around that. If just give a little history lesson for people who aren't familiar, James Gunn and Kevin Feige had a very close relationship prior to James Gunn being fired over some old resurfaced tweets. But before then, James Gunn was literally in place to take over the whole space side of Marvel, right? That goes into like Nova and other Guardians of the Galaxy, all these other different type of space characters that have to do with space, I guess you could say. So people forget that James Gunn was the one that brought us what it looks like, what we like most about it, right? That's James Gunn, and I don't want it to be a carbon copy of Guardians of the Galaxy, but you know what? If it's putting off those vibes, I'm down for that. And anybody that's not, man, what do you want? What do you want from this movie? If that's if that is not the type of space adventure that you're looking for, what type of space adventure are you looking for? Give me an example. Because I like Guardians of the Galaxy, and I thought Guardians of the Galaxy was done wonderfully. So what do you guys want? But one thing I will say, before I start breaking down the trailer, I'm going to talk about it frame by frame. One of the things that I continue to say though is it's ballsy. This is extremely ballsy by DCU, James Gunn, Peter Safran to roll out the characters that they're rolling out currently. Right, it's very ballsy. You start out with Superman. Great choice, right? Superman is the pinnacle besides Batman. But we've always gotten the Batman stories and this and that, so he wanted to do something different. So he started out. We're going to start with Superman. Everything looks like it's going to be the Salvation Run storyline, which is cool. I'm if that's how it rocks, I'm down for that, right? So we're getting something different here when it comes to Superman, and then we're going to get something different with these other characters. But for them to go from Superman to Supergirl, and then we're going to get Green Lantern, and then we're going to get maybe Wonder Woman, Batman after. It's just very ballsy. It's very ballsy to go Supergirl, because Supergirl, sure, she's a character in a loved character, across comics, but at the same time, she just doesn't have that gravitas that I guess you would say that Batman or Wonder Woman have, especially when you start out a new universe, you're going to go, okay, I'm going to roll out Superman first. No arguments from me whatsoever on that. But then they're going to go with Supergirl. It's really interesting, and it's very ballsy. But like I said, it has to be good. This movie has to be good. And you know what? From what I've saw of it, I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be something different. It's going to be something different, also, but some of the similar same vibes that we're used to. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. So let's get into this trailer. Let's start looking at it, little piece by piece as we can, right? So we start off the trailer here. We got the jukebox, and you got, all right, you got Crypto. He's just, her house probably a mess like mine. Yep. Crypto pisses on Superman. Dang. Pee on Superman. A lot of people are saying, like, oh, what does Superman do to piss off Crypto? Like, this is just a dog, man. Dogs pee on newspapers. That's what they do. But you feel her carefree attitude, right? She's just like, good job. You finally got it all. You got it on the paper this time, right? She's just, she probably had a rough night out drinking and all that fun stuff, But, this is the shot that we got in the little teaser there. Pretty fun little carefree, She's just waiting to get to wherever the hell she's going. I thought that was pretty cool. So we got a chance. She's talking about 23. Now, how old is Superman? I'm not sure. I think she's going to be younger than She's younger than Superman, which is interesting, I guess, especially if she saw her family destroyed. Now, I understand time, space, things work differently up that way. I don't know how they're going to explain that, but it's her 23rd birthday, and then we got, she's sitting there having a good old time with a great song by Blondie, which I'm absolutely down for. It, maybe that'll be a cool little theme song of the whole ordeal. And this looks like this is Krypton, I'm assuming. looking like New York City. And then we got the girl here, and the girl's got the sword, which is symbolic because if you've seen the Woman of Tomorrow comic, this sword is planted in the ground next to Supergirl, who is on her knees. So I'm curious how they're gonna play all of that there. And then, it shows here some sort of ceremonial type of deal going on. Looks like Dune almost in that part there. She's angry about something, maybe seeing her destroyed planet. And then we get the little ragtag team here of guys, and she starts messing them up, which pretty cool. I think the fighting's going to be really fun in this movie. Look at this guy. I wonder who that is. I think that's going to be that Hill guy. I really wanted to get that still, and she's protecting the girl. And that's Women of Tomorrow, and what she does in that comic there. But I really like the way this looks. This looks good right here. This looks almost like the comic book cover. You got the two different sky, the green, the red. I do hope it's a little bit more colorful. In the movie there, that would be really cool because the comic book is very, very vibrant. But this is a cool little shot of Supergirl there, kind of, thought that was a really cool shot. She's swinging something, tearing those guys' asses up. Oh man, I missed it. Where is this part with Lobos, man? I'm telling you, you'll miss it a split second. Let's look.
Do you understand your planet has powers like you? No, it's a pretty small group of two.
This is it. Yeah, that's it right there. Look at that shit. Man, I wish I could kind of brighten it up almost a little bit. That is pretty damn sweet little picture there, man. First little glimpse of Lobos. Man, it doesn't even look like Jason Momoa. That's gonna be sick. What a great job. I'm not the biggest Jason Momoa fan by any stretch, but what great casting, man. Like they don't keep anybody else from the previous universe. They're like, get the hell out of here, But we're gonna keep you Jason Momoa because you should never played Aquaman. You should have played Lobos from the fucking get-go. So it's this is pretty damn sweet. So man, I'm enjoying that one right there. I'm enjoying that one. And then we got Supergirl, and of course we all know it's directed by written by Anna Nogueira, directed by Craig Gillespie. Now, for anybody who's unfamiliar with Anna Nogueira, she's from what I've read, man, she's like an up and coming type of writer. She wrote the Marvels. Don't take that as a sign of like anything good. Even though the Marvels wasn't terrible, but that's the woman. She also wrote Candyman, the remake of Candyman. So I hope this is her best work. That's all I'm saying. I hope this is her best work. And it's nothing against, her as a creative. I've never seen Candyman, but from the reviews I've read of it, it's okay. The Marvels was actually kind of middle bag there. Yeah, if you take it for what it is, it's actually pretty decent of a movie. But I'm a little pessimistic about that, to be honest with you. That's the one thing that's kind of got me a little hesitant. I love the trailer and I love the way it looked, but the one thing that does have me a little hesitant is the fact that Anna Nogueira is writing, especially from her body of work, not tons of, green boxes, I guess you could say, are checked off when it comes to her filmography. So I'm hoping that this is definitely her peak and her best work to date. And then Craig Gillespie, of course, um, joining as director. Uh, and watch some interviews with Craig Gillespie. I think that he took a lot of he even mentioned it from his own mouth. He got a lot of inspiration from the Guardians of the Galaxy, from James Gunn for what he did with Guardians. When making this movie, so it makes sense, right? James Gunn, of course, the head of studio, so maybe you're just kissing ass at that point. But this overall, I think I'm excited for what we got from this trailer so far. We'll have more trailers to come. The movie doesn't come out for another 6 months. So 7 months, I guess. I'm sorry. So 7 months from now, we're going to get some more stuff here and there, learning more about it, more trailers and more posters and set photos and all these different things. Probably get a better look at Lobos going forward. But for what we got so far, guys, I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed it very much. So, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. What do you think of this Supergirl trailer? Are you excited for this movie? Do you think, hey, is James Gunn still cooking? What do you think of what we're going to be getting with Supergirl? What do you think about the teaser so far? Was it enough to say, hey, you know what, I'm excited for this, or hey, let's say you weren't excited for this any means, does it now get you excited? So let me hear your guys' thoughts down below. And also, if you like the video, please go ahead and like this video, man. I appreciate all the love. And then, of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more real Rumble content with your boy Greg Bialer here. But until next time, peace out.